Good evening, folks. Oh, it's pretty late at night. It's almost 11 o'clock, so I'm barely getting this done on the 9th of January. This isn't going to be uploaded and up until tomorrow morning. YouTube's taken a long time to process my videos. They say it improves audio quality and video quality. I think it just means that they're filtering, censoring, doing things. Well, this is my 23rd show. This is the Dr. Kent show. I've had a shower and shaved. I need a haircut, believe it or not. This is a little bit fuzzy for me. Get that taken care of tomorrow. The title of this is going to be clickbait for sure. But I'm really sincere about this, and I just have one point that I want to make in particular. But the first thing I want to tell you is that I probably shouldn't be doing this right now because I just tried to deal with Amazon, and they've become impossible. They used to have excellent customer service. Now they've got some sort of security code clearance tests that don't make any sense. And I tell them, the puzzle that they sent me, the game, I don't play computer games much, you know. And I said, let me talk to a supervisor. I can give you the order number. And they failed to send me an item. It was a simple, a fourth bottle. When you buy 3 bottles, they had this deal where you tried it for 30 days and they wanted a review and they would send you another bottle. And since the order was like $120, it's like, okay, well, fine. And then they sent me notice just before I'm leaving for the summer that they shipped it to me. And I let them know, hey, you know, you waited a long time. You waited way over a month, like 2 months. And now you're shipping it. I'm not going to be here to get it. And then we did another shipment. And they sent me notice again, supposedly. And it never arrived, by the way. Then they sent me notice again that they were just shipped me another bottle out of the blue. So they're not checking with me to see if it's a good time. And it was actually a good time, and it never arrived. So I was following up with that, and I wrote a glowing review. However, the products were outrageously expensive. I was getting good results in the 30 days. The review was merited, but I've since then learned that their price for that item runs about 20 times what I can get it for at Costco. Let me think just a second. About 12 times more, 10 to 12 times more expensive. And it's the same quality, I think. Maybe it's not quite as good, but for the application and what I'm using it for, I'll take the cheap stuff. It's not that far off from it. So Amazon, I finally changed the review. I gave it 1 star so it would go through. And I just told Amazon this is the problem. You know, and you can have somebody, you can delete my account, all my accounts, or you can have somebody at the vice president's level call me. So I gave them something that they can do on it, and they can make it far more personable. I shouldn't have to jump through hoops like this. You know, they've made it impossible. I don't know what it's like for you. Do what you want with them. I want to become a hermit anyway at this point. More than half of the business deals that I get myself involved with go haywire. Had a guy working on my RV. He failed to wait. The technician failed to wait until the steps deployed fully. Before they opened up fully, he jammed his full weight, jammed the steps right back into it. Said, oh, look, they broke on me. Well, I was told to let the steps always deploy and lock in place before you put weight on it. So he broke my steps. And I asked him if he wouldn't mind somebody else working on my rig, since, you know, and I wrote them a letter about this. So it's just to a point where more than half of my transactions are problematic. And that's just a sign of the deterioration of the country. I was alive during the golden years. And at this particular point during my golden years, this company's gone to hell in a handbasket. Right now, your Department of Defense is being used against the American people fully. I know I hear these stories about white hats. Even my neighbor talks about white hats. And they can't tell the truth about what's going on because the Democrats will get upset. I'm fed up with it all. There are no white hats. As far as I can see, the whole country is rotten to the core. There's a few people that seem to be honest, but nobody faces the really bad and ugly stuff. I just got a book and I haven't had a chance to read it. I have other important things to do. And it is basically about the evil ones. And it's actually not who you think they are. These people have hidden themselves quite well. And they got several fronts going on to distract you. And don't get me wrong, some of those groups are a problem, or they have problem children among them. But this fellow actually did good research. I haven't had a chance to read it very well. The only thing that puts me off is he cites President Clinton in the beginning of it. I don't like him very much. But I got to say that he was better in some ways than other presidents, even though he had peccadillos and problems in the oral office. But I'm putting this as a question mark, and don't take me at my word for it, but here's the thing. I have heard this before. I have seen the pictures of the three girls together when they were teenagers, dressed up in nice dresses, hanging out together. And they're all related. And they have another relation who's a boy. So there's three girls and a boy. Are these Adolf Hitler's grandchildren? I know it's a shock because everybody's asking me, Dr. Kent, who are the Nazis? Who are the Nazis in D.C.? Tell us. Well, let's see. Theresa May, she's not in D.C., okay. She's one of them. Angela Merkel is the other one. And then there's this woman from the Netherlands or Holland who was in, I don't know if she's a royal position or in high up in government. I don't recognize her. She hasn't been in the public limelight that much. But the three girls hung out together as teenagers because they were related and they knew it. And not too long ago, they met their brother, if you will, their distant brother, their cousin, Barack Obama. And I think he really is the grandson of Herr Hitler. And I think it's incumbent upon him to prove to us that he's not. It's not that wild and that far-fetched. It makes a lot of sense. And when Obama has his chin out there, I guess he might remind some of you of Mussolini, but he reminds me of, well, I have trouble between Stalin and the other guy. What was his name? Lenin. It reminds me of Lenin, that's right. Stalin had the thick hair that was up and had the mustache. Lenin, on the other hand, had a skull shape a little closer to Obama's. And Obama likes to stick his chin out, a lot like Mussolini, actually, a lot like Lenin. He's got a weird attitude. And remember this, at least he warned y'all, don't underestimate Joe's ability to F things up. My God, that was quite true. And he also told us that we, in the middle of the country, cling to our guns and our Bibles. That's a clue for you as to what they don't want you doing. They don't want you to have guns, and they don't want you to read Bibles above all. So, we're going to keep this short tonight. This is 23rd show. It's a prime number. When I was 23 years of age, it was a very awkward year for me. I definitely was no longer a teenager, and I sure didn't feel like much of an adult. When I look back, I don't feel like I was an adult till I was quite old. And I kept looking out of these eyes going, still feel like a little boy. Yeah, I had a very traumatic childhood. It was pretty rough, physically rough, left me very much wounded. I'll get into that some other time, but at this point in time, the nation's wounded. Our own Department of Defense is letting loose on us. They are killing us left and right, all kinds of ways. Every day, we're losing thousands of people. We're losing probably around 2,500 plus 400,000 a year there. We're losing probably on the order of 4,000 a day due to the medical profession. And we probably have another 5,000 a day that are becoming disabled, not dying completely or outright, but just a delayed, lengthy demise caused by the medical profession daily. All right, so and some of that's mistakes, and a lot of that's on purpose. Yeah, it's a medical, military, industrial complex. And at the current rate, it looks like the Bible's prophecy of 1/3 loss will occur. We're going to lose 1/3 according to what the Bible says. And the evil ones want to play God, so they're going to go ahead and execute judgment and do what the Bible says. It's kind of weird, isn't it? Doesn't make the Bible look very positive, does it? Well, that stuff is in there. I have to admit it. There's a lot of other good stuff in there. But don't take my word for it. Go read it. Read it for yourself, and you'll see towards the end we lose 1/3 of the population, and then we lose another 1/3 or 1/3 of that remaining. And if you look at it that way, we lose 48%. And if you look at it from the Georgia Guidestones, we're going to be 500 million out of more than 7 billion, out of maybe 8 billion. So it's like 16% left. And then if you look at at Deagle, before they altered it, they took it down for several years, then they put it up, and they put higher numbers up there because they didn't want to panic us too much. And their prediction was by year 2025, American population, original prediction was going to be 69,000. That was all out of 69 million out of 335,000, 338,000. Now their last numbers are 99 million. Just below 100 million left. And at this point, this war is being executed in a way so it'll take out a hell of a lot more of us. We are the target. The Ukraine is not the target of Russia. I don't want to say that we're the target of Russia either. We're the target of our own Department of Defense. We're the target of our own FBI. We're the target of our own CIA. We're the target of our own DHS. All of those security, things are actually against us. All kinds of secret weaponry. I wonder what kind of chemicals are embedded in the clothing under the guise of safety and flame retardants and stuff that actually are probably carcinogenic. They screw with this every way they can. This nation, or at least this civilization, has created between 100,000 and 300,000 new chemical compounds which have never been tested for toxicity, for being carcinogenic or teratogens, causing birth defects. They haven't been tested for the safety at all. We are the guinea pigs. We are the test. Just like on this other stuff they've unleashed upon us, we are being experimented on. So, don't take my word for it. You can put something in the comments. Do you think Barack Hussein Obama is the grandson of Adolf Hitler? Do you think that Theresa May is the granddaughter of Adolf Hitler? Do you think that Angela Merkel, she's definitely the granddaughter of Adolf Hitler? She's come from East Germany at that. I remember in the old movies watching those perpetually and hearing the actors of the German officers saying, "We marveled at the genius of the Führer. We listened in amazement because we listened to the master mind." That was one of the terms they used, to the master plan. And there was no way we could lose. And that always rankled me. How the hell did they come up with there's no way they could lose? What did they come up with that was so diabolical? Well, it looks like they actually succeeded. So it must have been a wild plan. Especially with Operation Paperclip, where they brought their guys over here and practiced their killing crap on us over here. Practice their sex programming, sex slave stuff and all that. The Monarch program. I mean, even Melania had those damn symbols all over the place on her. Marilyn Monroe was definitely one of those sex slaves. She had a high clearance to Air Force top security clearance, so she could go on the bases when she was a teenager. Norma Jean was trained up as a teenager. Maybe even before then she was targeted. We've got plenty of other witnesses as to other girls that were targeted when they were younger. Sue Ford, who wrote a book, Bryce Taylor, under the name Bryce Taylor, she accounts for some stuff with Bob Hope and Henry Kissinger. And then that poor Mormon woman who gave her testimony, that was a real shocker too. I don't know her name. I should. She was probably world famous at the time I was growing up. She actually, well, she doesn't look anywhere near my age. She must be close to my age though, but no. And then there's Trans-America, Kathy O'Brien. I couldn't read that book. I watched the video performance video interview of her, and I was shocked. I mean, I couldn't even listen to this stuff. It was so horrible. So utterly inhumane, so torturous, so painful, so shattering. They really hurt her. Marilyn Monroe was groomed to be with presidents. She was a high-level kind of a kitten, if you will, and it's really weird watching her sing Happy Birthday, Mr. President on the Ed Sullivan Show. It was way over the top. Welcome to the Dr. Kent Show. I need to be about my business. I still have one more show to do on my other channel, Awakening Israel. You're welcome to join me on that channel. It has half the viewership that this channel has. Sells the same Bibles. We actually read from it and get into it. And I try to share with you my understanding and my thinking of the Bible. And I do brainstorm quite a bit, and I do it out loud, so you'll understand that it's a good idea to be flexible in your thinking and to entertain things that they won't preach in the corner church, the big box churches, because those are all controlled by the evil ones. There's a country, and there's a fellow in Canada that did a report on that, a wonderful video. I need to find it again and watch it, but all of the religions have a table. It's like the big round table with every major religion at the table, and they are all underneath the sun god, underneath Apollo, also known as Apollyon. That's in the Bible. And there's another name. What's that? Abaddon, the angel of the pit, in charge of the pit. And basically, if you get to my level of understanding, you realize that it ain't down on the ground. It's up above. It's that sun that does this in about every 12,000 years. All right, leave comments down there. Like this thing, subscribe, share this with other people. The question is, where are Adolf Hitler's survivors today? And in particular, is Barack Obama Adolf Hitler's grandson? I don't know. What do you think? This is something that we need to be able to talk about. Hope I don't get censored over this one. If they do, all right. They might just take it down and not do me a third strike, but they might do that too. If that's the case, I'll move over to Rumble, some other channels. I'd rather stay here where I think I can reach more of you people. Y'all take care. Yahweh bless. Over and out.